Relth Prime, 0300 hours. Low orbit deployment. The pod tore through Relth Prime's atmosphere like a comet on fire. Inside, Sergeant Major Travis O'Reilly braced against the impact gel, chewing a cigar stub as the walls of his drop coffin rattled from supersonic descent. Outside, the world burned in shades of orange and black, explosions rippling across jungle-covered mountains as Dominion anti-orbital fire painted the sky. 30 seconds to ground, barked the pod AI. Its voice was calm. It didn't know fear. Humans did. Travis grunted. That all? I thought we'd have time for a coffee. He reached for his rifle, mag locked to the wall beside him, and pulled it free. The familiar weight centered him. A second later, the pod's heat shielding blew off with a bang. Cold air knifed in. Trees rushed up. Impact. The pod struck ground with bone-snapping force, throwing dirt, rock, and the carcass of some alien creature into the air. The hatch blew wide, and Travis launched himself out, rifle up, boots in mud. Steam hissed off his armor plates. Clear! He called out. No response. Where the hell was the rest of his team? He scanned the treeline. Fire lit the sky behind him, other pods burning or crushed. Comms were dead, just static. Dominion EMP bursts had hit harder than expected. He tapped his helmet twice. Nothing. A rustle. Travis spun, sights locked, breath still. A hulking shape emerged, Zalari Bioscout. 8 feet tall, plated in bone armor, its mouth a writhing mass of feeder tendrils. It hissed and charged. Travis moved first. 3 rounds center mass. 1 to the head. The thing stumbled, then lunged anyway, bleeding a luminous blue. He sidestepped, dropped to one knee, and drove his combat blade up under its jaw. The Zalari twitched, spasmed, died with a wheeze. He stood, panting. Blood soaked his gauntlet. Yeah, he muttered. Still got it. A signal blipped in his HUD. Helljumper Bravo 4 pinged 500 meters northeast. Probably Kowalski. Big guy. Loud. Always carried too many grenades. He moved fast and low through the jungle, stepping over smoldering wreckage and charred Dominion patrols. The air stank of ozone and something sweeter, burned meat. Behind a crumpled drop pod, he found Kowalski. The corporal had 2 Dominion corpses at his feet and was fiddling with a damaged pulse rifle. Took your sweet time, Kowalski said, not looking up. Had to kill your welcoming committee. Kowalski smirked. I told you to let them bring snacks. They bumped fists. More pings. Lou, Martinez, and Greaves, alive, scattered, closing in. Within 15 minutes, the squad was assembled, caked in grime and blood, but breathing. 8 of them. No sign of the other 3 squads. Status? Martinez asked, kneeling beside a broken Varkari comms node. Command's dark, Travis said. Landing zones compromised. Alpha base is gone. Burned to glass. Lou swore under her breath. Travis pointed toward the cliffs visible through the clearing haze. Commandant Svorin's death cannon is dug in up there. That's our new objective. Blow it, or Relth falls. Just us? Greaves asked. 8 grunts against a fortified anti-orbital gun? We've done worse. Kowalski grinned. This reminds me of Kellen 9. Except I'm not hungover. No hero speeches, Travis said. We hit that site, plant charges, extract to secondary evac. Stealth and shock. We're ghosts. Anyone hears you before you pull the trigger, you've already screwed up. The squad moved. Through the jungle. Over broken terrain. Under twisted vines that pulsed with alien bioluminescence. Occasionally, they'd stop to disable sensor drones or cut the throats of Dominion scouts. No gunfire. No noise. That was the rule. Until it wasn't. They reached the outer trench line an hour later. Dominion forces were dug in, watching the sky, not the forest. That was their mistake. Travis pointed. 2 guards by a power relay. Lou and Martinez moved like shadows. 2 seconds later, the guards slumped, throats opened. Greaves planted the first satchel charge. 1 of 6. They kept moving. Inside the base perimeter, they passed rows of Dominion war beasts in pens, gnashing, snarling things bred for terror. One sniffed them out and howled. The patrol heard it. Travis cursed. Engage. Hell opened. Gunfire snapped and echoed. Pulse rounds tore through alien flesh. Travis dropped one soldier with a burst to the chest, pivoted, and put a grenade into a control station. The blast lit up the sky. Kowalski bellowed as he tackled the Zalari brute, slamming it into a wall before driving a shock blade into its neck. Martinez was hit, plasma to the leg. Screaming, Travis dragged her behind cover, injected painkillers, handed her a pistol. Hold this position. We're not leaving you. She just nodded, eyes glassy. The gun platform loomed ahead, its base glowing with reactor heat. Travis and Lou raced toward it, dodging plasma arcs. They reached the core, primed the charges. 3 minutes, Lou said. Travis triggered the recall beacon. No response. No evac. Kowalski limped in, blood down one arm. We doing this? We're already doing it. Time slowed as the squad fell back under withering fire. Greaves tossed smoke. Lou carried Martinez. Kowalski laid down covering fire, laughing as his armor hissed from impact heat. Travis didn't look back until the ridge exploded. The gun platform went up in a blossom of blue flame. The shockwave knocked him flat. When he rose, ears ringing, the sky was visible through the fire. The Dominion war cannon was gone. Just scorched earth and smoldering ruin. His squad stood around him, dazed, bloodied but alive. Overhead, a single Concorde dropship broke through the clouds. Evac's here, Greaves said, coughing. Travis nodded. Took them long enough. The team limped aboard. As the ramp closed, Travis looked down at Reltha's burning surface. Dominion forces scrambled below, leaderless and scattered. This was just the first move. The galaxy didn't fear humans yet. But it would. He lit his cigar again. Let's show them what Earth sends when it gets mad. Relth Prime, Burnt Zone Delta, 0410 hours. Commander Zephyrax stood in the hollow chamber of the Varkash Ultima, arms clasped behind his back, mandibles twitching. Before him, flickering footage played on a projected sphere. It showed a Terran squad annihilating an outpost. 8 humans, one of them wounded, left a field of 30 Dominion troops dismembered, burned, or riddled with shrapnel. One even used the body of a war beast as a battering ram. Zephyrax leaned forward. They don't coordinate like the Kirill, said his adjutant, voice thin with unease. No linked minds. No command drones. Yet their cohesion is efficient. No, Zephyrax replied. Efficient is what we expect. These humans are irrational. And that's what makes them dangerous. He paused the footage at the moment Sergeant O'Reilly dragged a bleeding soldier through a blast zone, still firing with one hand. They protect their wounded. Even when it's tactically idiotic. And somehow, they survive. He turned away, voice colder now. We underestimated them. That ends now. Ground side. Relth Prime. 5 clicks east of the ruins. Travis and his squad crouched in the skeleton of an alien temple, what was once a place of worship, now reduced to shattered crystal columns and scorched statues of winged beasts. The roof had been obliterated, letting moonlight cast jagged shadows across the stone floor. Martinez lay on a scavenged thermal sheet, her leg wrapped tight. Still conscious, but gray-skinned. Got about 2 hours before infection takes root, Lou said, checking vitals. We need evac fast. No birds coming into this mess, Greaves muttered. Not unless we clear that sky grid. Travis leaned against a pillar, helmet off. Eyes sharp despite exhaustion. We're not clearing airspace. Not with 8.5 people. He pointed toward a map projection on his forearm unit. But there's a Dominion signal tower 2 clicks south. If we take it, we can punch a narrow band to the Concorde. Kowalski raised an eyebrow. Those things are crawling with patrols. You sure we can slip in without going loud? Travis gave him a look. When have we ever gone in quiet? That got a chuckle, brief and bitter. Martinez tried to sit up. If we die in that place, tell my brother I still owe him 50 credits. No one's dying, Travis said firm. We move in an hour. Rest while you can. Elsewhere. Inside the Dominion signal tower, Subcommander Thivax reviewed his patrol reports. Humans are scattered. The southern quadrant's secure, he said into a communicator. Requesting permission to repurpose prisoners. The reply crackled with static. Approved. Begin live tissue extraction at dawn. Thivax's mandibles twitched with anticipation. The prisoners, Concord species, mostly Avanii and Trelk, were in containment below. Their screams would provide psychological fodder for incoming Terran troops. Fear, after all, was a weapon. The Dominion had wielded it for centuries. But they hadn't yet tried it on Earthborn. Temple ruins pre-dawn. As the squad packed gear and distributed ammo, Travis sat beside Martinez. She was drifting now, sweating, mumbling in Spanish. He tapped her shoulder lightly. You hang on. We're coming back for you once the signal's lit. She smiled faintly. You always say that. I always mean it. They left her under camouflage netting, guarded by Greaves. The rest slipped into the jungle like smoke. Approached to signal tower. Dawn was a gray bruise on the horizon as they reached the ridgeline overlooking the Dominion installation. A squat hexagonal tower jutted from the ground, ringed with pulsating vents and turrets. Alien searchlights combed the brush. They watched from cover. 2 guards on the south door, Lou whispered. Clocked another sniper nest west side, Kowalski added. Diversion first, Travis said. Kowalski, give them a reason to look north. The corporal nodded and pulled a small satchel from his pack. Inside, Dominion fuel cells scavenged from a wreck, wired into a crude but effective mine. He set it under a rock ledge and detonated it remotely. The blast echoed like thunder. Dominion forces scrambled, searchlights pivoted, guards shouted in guttural clicks, turrets realigned. Travis gave the signal. They sprinted. 3 heartbeats to the perimeter. 2 to the door. 1. They breached. Inside, the tower smelled like warm copper and fungus. Pulsing blue conduits lined the walls. They moved fast, silenced weapons picking off sentries with precision. In the lower chamber, they found the prisoners. Travis froze. One was a child, maybe a Avanii, strapped to a metal slab, barely breathing. The others hung limp, eyes vacant. Lou whispered. We can't just leave them. We're not, Travis growled. Cut them down. Kowalski worked fast, releasing clamps. One of the prisoners, a Trelk male, gripped Travis's hand and wheezed. You came. We're humans, Travis said. We don't abandon allies. They moved the survivors to the comms room. It was cold, humming with Dominion tech. Lou, can you get a narrowband burst out? Give me 90 seconds. That was 85 more than they had. Warning klaxons blared. Travis turned. Dominion troopers flooded the corridor. Dozens. Too many. Kowalski grinned. Guess it's time for the fun part. Final push. While Lou rigged the comms, Travis and Kowalski held the hallway. Shot after shot. Flash bangs. Pulse rounds. A flurry of brutality. Kowalski took one in the side. Didn't flinch. Fired back, reloaded, covered Travis's left. Lou shouted. Signal sent. Evac ETA, 12 minutes. Get the prisoners moving. They fought their way out through a breach in the eastern wall. Travis dragged the Avanii child under one arm, firing with the other. Greaves met them halfway, hauling Martinez. Above, they heard the rumble of engines. A Concord gunship. They all but threw the survivors aboard. Travis was the last in, panting, bruised, armor scorched. He collapsed beside Martinez. She opened one eye, cracked a smile. See? Told you we'd make it. He didn't answer right away. Just nodded. Above them, the sky grew brighter. Behind them, The tower exploded, charges Lou had planted as a parting gift. Aboard the gunship, the Avanii child leaned against Travis. Wide eyes. Silent. Lou sat across from him, arms folded. They're scared of us, she said softly. The Dominion. They don't understand how we work. Why we fight the way we do. Travis looked at the child. They don't need to understand, he replied. They just need to remember. Relth Prime, Dominion Nerve Relay 0630 hours. The rain came in sideways, acidic, pale green, and sharp-smelling. It hissed against armor plates as Travis led his squad through the wreckage of a Dominion drone factory, now just a rusted skeleton of twisted alloy and scorched black glass. The mission had changed. No more holding ground. No more covert strikes. The Concorde's intelligence drop, brief and garbled, was clear on one thing: the Dominion was preparing to transmit planetary targeting data to its orbital fleet through a deep-crust nerve relay. If it went through, the sky would fall. Concorde ships. Human cities. Everything. The relay had to be destroyed. And there was no one left but them to do it. Kowalski limped behind Travis, one arm bandaged and clutched close. We're burning daylight. We're burning everything, Travis replied. Lou moved up beside them, rifle low. Survivor from Delta Post said the relay's under an old colony structure. Guarded. Heavily. Greaves snorted. We wouldn't know what to do with Easy. Travis slowed near a crater the size of a shuttle pad. Inside, tangled Dominion cables pulsed faintly beneath broken earth. They were close. 10 minutes, he said. Stack gear. Reload. Meanwhile, inside the relay complex, High Strategist Vulcan paced in the command chamber, its walls lit with veins of pulsing green code. Dominion tech was organic, semi-living. It pulsed with anticipation. The signal sequence is 60% complete, said a technician drone. Vulcan clicked in approval. Ensure the transmission reaches the orbital fleet. Earth's defenders will learn submission through annihilation. He turned to the corpse of a Terran Marine pinned to the far wall, burnt, bloodied, but still glaring in death. They fight like they don't understand fear, he muttered. Perhaps, came a voice from behind. Because they don't fear you. Outside. Nerve relay perimeter. The squad reached the access point, a shattered tunnel flanked by twisted struts, and what remained of human colony signage. A faded plaque still read, Riverside Station, Humanity's Frontier. Travis stopped. He'd been stationed here once. Fresh out of training. Before the Dominion turned it into a fortress. He spat. Let's finish this. They dropped in. The corridors were dark and lined with biocircuitry. The place felt alive. Every surface pulsed slightly, like a heartbeat under metal. As they moved deeper, the walls trembled. Then the lights cut out. Ambush! Lou hissed. Too late. Dominion troopers burst from hidden panels, sleek and fast. The first volley took Greaves in the chest, armor cracked, but he stayed standing, firing back. Travis barked. Form up! They moved like machines, lethal, disciplined. No wasted shots. Kowalski dropped 3 before his side gave out. Lou switched to her sidearm and finished another mid-leap. Then silence. Travis crouched beside Greaves. You good? Still breathing. Then keep moving. Deeper in. Central chamber. They reached it, a cavernous vault beneath Reltha's crust. In its center, a massive spire of crystalline neural nodes, humming and pulsing, linked directly to Dominion orbit. Cables fed into the walls like roots in soil. A single platform led to the override controls. Lou stepped forward. I can overload it, but I need time. Travis looked at the countdown on the side panel. Signal transmission, 3 minutes 27 seconds. No time. I'll hold them off, Kowalski said, leaning against the doorway, still bleeding. Cover fire until you trigger the core. No, Travis said immediately. We all make it out. Travis, Kowalski said, voice softer. You know how this goes. You taught me. Mission first. If we all try to run, no one makes it. The squad fell silent. Even Lou stopped typing. Kowalski pulled the last of his grenades. Give 'em hell, Sarge. Travis stepped forward and clamped a hand to his shoulder. Not a word. Just a nod. Then they moved. Last stand? Kowalski held the choke point like a wall of iron and spite. Dominion troops poured in. He cut them down. Explosives lit the passage in bursts of fire and shrapnel. His laughter echoed over gunfire. Behind him, Lou worked furiously, hands flying over Dominion interface keys, sweat in her eyes. Travis paced around the platform, watching for any breach. Greaves, somehow still alive, had collapsed against a pillar, rifle steady despite shaking hands. 60 seconds! Lou shouted. A Dominion brute charged in, all boneplate and rage. Travis met it mid-run, ducked under the swing of its hammer-like arm, and fired straight up through its jaw. It fell with a shudder. 30 seconds! The relay pulsed brighter. The spire shrieked in harmonic frequencies as the code destabilized. Then Kowalski's final grenade blew. The noise was deafening. Travis turned. There was no one left in the hallway. Detonation. Lou hit the final sequence and ran. Travis grabbed her arm and yanked her toward the lift shaft. The override station erupted behind them, the spire cracking down the middle, leaking arcs of energy that lit the walls white-hot. They climbed as the chamber collapsed, the Dominion's last hope disintegrating in fire and fractured code. Surface. Dawn breaking. They emerged into open air just as the relay tower above cracked and exploded. The shockwave rippled outward, flattening trees and lighting the sky in molten orange. The clouds parted. High above, Dominion ships began turning away. Orders lost. Guidance gone. Travis dropped to his knees, gasping. Lou sat beside him, silent. Greaves limped up behind them, somehow still upright. You did it, he muttered. No, Travis said, staring back at the plume of smoke. We did. Hours later. Back aboard the Concorde Reclaimer, a Terran medical frigate, Travis stood in front of a debrief panel. The officers looked grim. You lost 2/3 of your original deployment. Correct. And you neutralized the relay? Travis pulled a data core from his belt. Tossed it on the table. Here's your proof. The ranking Concorde general leaned forward, voice quiet. The Dominion's terrified of you, Sergeant. They've issued a standing order. Terran forces are to be avoided in close engagement. You've earned their respect. Travis didn't blink. We're not here for their respect. Then what are you here for? He turned. To win. Relth Prime, Dominion final foothold, 0900 hours. The smoke hadn't cleared. Not from the cratered relay site, not from the jungle battlegrounds, and certainly not from the minds of the few remaining Dominion soldiers still clutching their weapons in trembling claws. From orbit, the battle was over. On the ground, it was just getting personal. Sergeant Major Travis O'Reilly stood in the open, armor scorched, blood crusting the side of his neck. Behind him, the last 6 members of the 121st Helljumper Division spread out through the ravaged ruins of the Dominion's final planetary bastion. This one wasn't just a command post. It was a temple. The walls were carved from obsidian-like stone, etched in symbols older than Concorde records. In the center stood a spire humming with faint energy, one last transmitter, weaker than the main relay, but still able to broadcast a distress call. If the Dominion sent reinforcements, all of Routh would burn again. This was the last job. And Travis knew what that meant. Inside the temple, Commander Zev Therax watched the Terrans advance via aerial drone feed. His elite were gone, scattered or dead. Most of his staff had abandoned the surface after the relay exploded. Only loyalists remained. One asked, "Shall we prepare escape vectors?" "No." Zev Therax turned slowly. "We do not run from vermin." "They are not vermin," the technician said. "Quiet." "They are." "Silence." Zev Therax crushed the drone feed with one claw. "They are flesh. And flesh burns. The Helljumpers breached the outer gate with charges, fast and clean. No speeches. No rallying cries. They moved room to room, silent, methodical, ruthless. Dominion warriors tried to ambush them in narrow halls. It didn't work. Travis shot one mid-lunge and kicked its body into another. Greaves followed up with a scatter burst that turned the second into slurry. They were tired, but beyond exhaustion there was clarity. No one complained. No one hesitated. 2 levels down, Lou reported. Getting interference. Probably shielding around the core spire. We cut through, Travis said. They've got a back door, they always do. Kowalski's replacement, Private Singh, quiet and steel-eyed, checked a side corridor. Thermal traces heading deeper. Travis nodded. That's where the bastard's hiding. Lower temple vault. Zevtherax waited beneath the spire, surrounded by ceremonial blades and bioloctech relics. The air was thick with incense and coolant vapor. He watched the Terrans breach the vault door through internal cams. They came in a wedge, Travis at point. He drew his plasma glaive. So be it, he muttered. Travis stepped into the vault and saw him, tall, plated in obsidian armor, glowing with artificial strength. Zevtherax didn't wait. He charged. The room exploded into motion. Lou dodged a wild swing, rolled, and laid down suppressive fire. Greaves fired once, center mass. Zevtherax shrugged it off. The commander moved like a tank, carving gouges in the floor with every step. Travis dropped low, slid past the slash, and jammed his combat knife up into the alien's side joint. Sparks flew. Zevtherax roared. He caught Travis by the chest plate and threw him into a pillar. Stone cracked. Ribs screamed. Travis got up anyway. The others kept him busy, volleys of fire, flash bursts, heat rounds, but Zevtherax endured. Then, a misstep. Zevtherax raised his glaive for a killing blow. Travis seized his chance, ripped a broken blade from the ground, and drove it straight into the commander's throat. Zevtherax stumbled. Travis stepped forward and, without ceremony, pulled his sidearm and emptied 3 rounds into the alien's eye cluster. The body dropped. The temple went still. Lou approached the spire console. Transmitter's hot, but not active. We can kill it. Travis didn't answer right away. He walked to Zevtherax's body, crouched beside it, and stared at the twitching hand. This is who they sent to wipe us out. Greaves wiped his helmet visor. He did better than most. Still not good enough. Lou disabled the spire. Its lights faded. Travis stood. Tell Concord, he said. Relth is ours. Hours later, Concord High Command broadcast. A collective of alien leaders watched the footage. First, the Helljumpers moving like wraiths through Dominion ruins. Then, the final strike on Zevtherax. Brutal. Clinical. Efficient. None of it matched their combat doctrine. One general whispered, They don't fight for territory. No, another replied. They fight to end things. Why aren't they afraid? The room fell silent. Then the oldest among them, a 6-limbed Vrathi elder, spoke. Because Earth breeds soldiers, not warriors. They do not conquer. They do not dominate. They survive. And when survival means your death. He turned toward the footage of Travis lighting a cigar over the corpse of Zevtherax. They do what must be done. Back on Relth. The sun was rising, clear for the first time in weeks. Travis stood at the edge of a cliff overlooking the ruins. The jungle below still burned in patches, but the Dominion signals were gone. Just silence. Lou approached. Orders from command. Return to orbit for debrief. And rest. He exhaled. About damn time. Greaves joined them, bruised and limping. So. End of the line? No, Travis said. This was just a message. Message? He looked over the scorched valley. They thought Earth was weak because we were new. Unrefined. Human. He paused. They won't make that mistake again. Final scene, Concord War Archives. A new warning was issued across all interstellar channels. Engaging with Terran shock forces is discouraged. If unavoidable, deploy from extreme range. Never engage in close quarters. Never underestimate. Never assume fear. They are not like us. Below it, one sentence stamped in red. Death World Classification confirmed.